The bell above the small-town convenience store door gave a soft jingle as a man in a faded hoodie and worn jeans stepped inside. His sneakers were scuffed, his baseball cap pulled low, the kind of outfit that made him blend in with the late afternoon rush. No one gave him a second glance, except him. He gave everyone a second glance. Because the man who looked like just another customer was actually Thomas Harlow, the CEO of one of the fastest-growing retail chains in the state. But today wasn't about quarterly profits or store expansions. Today was about finding out what the numbers could never tell him, what it really felt like to work behind the counter of one of his stores. He headed toward the back to grab a bottled water, moving slowly, scanning the aisles for signs of neglect or care. That's when he heard it, a faint sniffle. It was coming from the counter. He turned his head and saw her. A young cashier, maybe 19, leaning against the register. Her eyes were red, cheeks blotchy. She was trying to keep her head down, but the way her hands trembled as she scanned a pack of gum for a customer was impossible to miss. Thomas grabbed a candy bar he didn't need and walked up to pay, keeping his head tilted like any casual customer. But before he could even greet her, the man in front of him in line leaned over the counter. "You should smile more," the customer said with a smirk that made Thomas's stomach turn. "Nobody wants to see a cashier with a face like that. You'll scare people off." The girl, her name tag said Maya, swallowed hard. "I'm sorry, sir," she murmured, voice cracking. The man laughed, tossed a coin onto the counter, and left. Thomas stepped forward. "You okay?" he asked quietly. Maya shook her head, trying to hide it with a practiced smile. "Yeah, just a rough day." But her voice betrayed her. Then she whispered something she didn't realize he would catch. "I can't lose this job. I need it for my brother's medicine." Thomas froze. That sentence hit him harder than any boardroom debate or investor demand ever had. "Medicine?" he asked gently. Her eyes widened like she'd said too much. "It's nothing, just, my little brother has epilepsy. The meds are expensive. My mom works nights, so I pick up every shift I can." But, she glanced toward the stockroom, her voice dropping even lower. "The manager's been cutting my hours. Said if I cry on shift again, I'm out. I can't mess this up." Thomas felt a slow burn in his chest. A manager threatening an employee for showing emotion, while she's caring for a sick sibling? This was not the company culture he'd built, or thought he'd built. Over the next hour, Thomas lingered in the store, pretending to browse, catching glimpses of Maya juggling impatient customers, cleaning up spills without complaint, and quietly skipping her break. He also overheard two stock boys in the back talking about how the manager, Mike, liked to teach the new hires a lesson by giving them impossible shifts and docking hours if they didn't smile enough. By the time Thomas left, he knew what had to happen. The next morning, Thomas returned, but not in the hoodie and cap. This time he walked in wearing a tailored suit, his face instantly recognizable from the framed corporate posters in the staff break room. The moment he stepped inside, Mike the manager came rushing out, suddenly all smiles. "Mr. Harlow. What a surprise." "Mike," Thomas said flatly. "We need to talk. Now." In the next 10 minutes, the store was closed to customers. Thomas called the entire staff to the front and addressed them directly. He started by apologizing, something most of them didn't expect. "If someone in this company feels afraid to be human at work, then I have failed you. And that stops today." He turned to Maya. "You showed more dedication yesterday than some people show in a career. And you shouldn't have to choose between caring for your family and keeping your job." He pulled a folder from his bag and handed it to her. Inside was a promotion to assistant manager, full-time hours, and a corporate scholarship program to help cover her brother's medication costs. Her hand flew to her mouth, tears spilling instantly. I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything," Thomas replied softly. "Just keep being you." Then his tone shifted. He turned to Mike, whose smugness had vanished. "And as for you, you're being reassigned, pending investigation. This store deserves leadership that lifts people up, not grinds them down." The following weeks saw more than just one promotion. Thomas ordered a full review of store management policies across all locations. Several managers were retrained or replaced. Staff support programs expanded. And for Maya, life slowly changed. Her brother's health stabilized, her bills stopped piling up, and for the first time in months, she didn't dread walking through the store doors. The story spread, not because Thomas wanted publicity, but because customers noticed the difference. They saw a cashier who now greeted them with a genuine smile, not because she had to, but because she could. And somewhere in that small-town store, behind the register, Maya kept a folded note from Thomas in her apron pocket. 4 simple words, handwritten in black ink. "You matter. Always will." Because sometimes the real work of a boss isn't in building the business, it's in rebuilding the people who keep it alive.